Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.
Yo, what it do, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Fourth and Loud. It is your boy Pride, live and in all my glory. I'm joined by Denzel. Denny, how you doing today, my boy?
I'm good. How are you, Pride?
It's another day in paradise, bro. I got mixed emotions today, really do. Matthew Stafford won MVP, poverty franchise, or poverty award. MVP no longer means anything. It's a garbage award. So from now on, if you win MVP, it means nothing. We'll get into all that stuff later because I might crash out. I really might. I'm doing everything in my power to be a good noodle today. But football lately has been tripping, bro. Football's tripping. I don't know what it is, but it's all good though. Me and Drake May, we don't care about no stupid MVP trophy. We chasing something bigger. Okay, but before we get to that, the NBA had the trade deadline came and went. Chicago got nothing but point guards. Yeah, I mean, yeah, cool. They had like 10 second-round picks. Whoop-de-doo. But who's gonna play like your 3, 4, and 5? That's all I want to know because like that's gonna be like their greatest mystery. Mike Conley somehow finessely, right? But he got traded twice and still got waived and still went back to the Timberwolves. God bless him. God bless him. I don't know how you pull that off. And obviously one of the bigger things, Giannis first saying, "I want out." Then when nobody would give Milwaukee what they want, all of a sudden he's a good guy again. And I don't run from the grind. I don't know what in the Make-A-Wish is his PR guy doing, but they need to get fired. Then I'm gonna throw it over to you. Winners and losers from the trade deadline. Because it ended yesterday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, my boy.
2 p.m. my time, so yeah.
All right, you're an hour behind.
Trade deadline, the most surprising thing was everybody wanted to get Giannis, and nobody couldn't get Giannis. So that was what everybody was chasing after, especially Golden State. They didn't get Giannis, but they got Porzingis. So there's that. But the winners and losers of this, I have to say, long-term wise, Minnesota, they got a W from me. They went after Io, from the Bulls. And I was shocked that the Bulls gave away a lot of people. I wasn't at first because we've been counting on the city of Chicago, been counting on the Bulls to do something during the trade deadline. And every year they don't do anything. So this was a surprise that they actually did something this year. And the general manager response was, "We're building something so we can compete." I don't know how you're going to compete with mostly guards and not many forwards. But last night they showed a little bit something against Toronto. So it's not all hope gone from Chicago. They're just planning on the summer and free agency because they have a lot of money now and a bunch of second round picks. But the losers, I would have to say, most definitely Dallas, because even though they gave away Anthony Davis, you gave Washington a whole bunch of other players plus Anthony Davis. And then once those players get healthy, plus an Anthony Davis, plus a Trae Young, and the pieces they already have in Washington, that's going to be a very hungry team next year. And who else I want to say? I'll say Memphis. They lost in my eyes too because they gave away their defensive player of the year in Jaren Jackson Jr. And y'all gave him away to Utah, which builds Utah up for a promising future with Markkanen, George, Bailey. So that build that core up over there in Utah. But yeah, the trade deadline was a bunch of hit and misses. But those are my wins and losses.
Yeah, and like you said, obviously the big one was Giannis. Everyone was kind of, well, I'm not gonna say everyone, because obviously when you got a guy like Giannis, yes, you're gonna inquire whether or not it's legitimately, that's kind of the big thing. But like you said, there were a couple teams that actually really did want him. And for me, the Golden State one, it really did come down, at least in my eyes, once they sent Kuminga to Atlanta, that's when I was like, okay, they're for sure out. Like, there's no way they'll, at least for me anyway, there's nothing else Golden State really has that can make them go out and go get Giannis once Kuminga was off the table. Granted, they didn't even really have too much. Now, one of the people that I will say is a loser is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis does not want to be a villain, so obviously he's going to say all the right things. Mm-hmm. But the reality of the situation is you could potentially lose Giannis for literally nothing. Like, Giannis wanted out. He already said he wanted out. So it's like, there's really nothing they could really do, Obviously, he has one more year next year, right? And then the year after that, the 2027-28 season, that's a player option. So potentially Giannis could just kind of keep his mouth shut, play out all of next year, opt out, and then he's chilling. If I'm Milwaukee, I would have gotten rid of him. Just from the fact that you don't want to be here anymore. And this is the most I'm going to get from you. Because next year, if they thought it was slim pickings in terms of the stuff they were going to get this year, next year it's going to be even less. Because now the sentiment is that he's opting out in that final year of his contract. So he's got the rest of this year and then next year. More than likely, they're going to repeat the same thing again next year, where it's, oh yeah, let's see if we can trade Giannis because he doesn't want to be here anymore. Then the league is going to look and go, what's the point? Why are we going to give stuff up? We can go see this dude in like 6 months. We could wine and dine him in 6 months, and we have a better chance because then we won't lose him. So for me, one of the biggest teams that lost for sure is going to be Milwaukee. Just because, obviously, I don't know if they're really going to be able to keep, to keep Giannis after all of this. And again, remember, Giannis is the one that asked to go. It's not like, hey man, we're not winning, we're gonna blow it up, we're gonna do right by you, blase. No, Giannis wanted out, so definitely I gotta put them as losers. Miami Heat is another loser for me.
Oh, man.
It's a vicious cycle. Preseason, they're favorites. Then they played, we're one superstar away. Trade deadline come and gone, nothing happens. And then they're a playing team. It's a vicious cycle all over again. It is the funniest thing. Honestly, if there's one team that I'm glad it happened to, it's Miami. I'm so glad. I really am. For sure, it's a poverty franchise full of poverty players. Pat Riley's out of touch, and I'm pretty sure the dude took a nap and it woke up just now and was like, oh, it's trade deadline? Whoopsies. I'm like convinced that's what happens with that organization and that front office.
Then they have a championship ring night before the trade deadline with the 06 Miami Heat team.
Like, what do we like?
And Pat again, Riley was out there dancing on the floor.
But that goes to show how Pat Riley has been the last 3-4 years?
3-4 years.
When they go and talk to him, it's not, we're here. And just the perfect way to look at it. Listen to how Brad Stevens talks, and then look at Pat Riley. Pat Riley is so enamored with back in our day. Bro, like, with all due respect, you know how long it's been? Look how long it's been since you got you out here yapping about, oh yeah, in 2006. Bro, what was I doing in 2006? I don't even think I was taking a bath properly, dog. Like, but fam, man, talking about 2006. I got 2 kids now, dog. And he talking about 06? Yo, that entire roster retired. You talking about 06? Like to me, at some point, Miami, they're gonna have to move on from Pat Riley. They have to. And it's just because he's not worried about the team now. He's worried about, oh yeah, when I used to coach. No, shut up. You've been an executive for how long? Shut up. The last time anyone even thought about asking you to coach was when LeBron was there. And you didn't want to. Now all of a sudden you want to talk about your coaching days? Get this bum out of my face, dog. For sure. Some winners. Honestly, one of the big winners, and I may be a little biased, the Boston Celtics. Brad does it again. And I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I say we gotta be classified as winners is because with all the moves that this man did, we kept the core. So we kept Peyton Pritchard, we kept Derek White, we kept JB, right? We keep a lot of our core guys, and we somehow shaved a bunch of money in terms of our payroll. We saved over $300 million in our payroll without giving up a single first-round pick. Let that sink in. For a team, because in my eyes, and I don't know if we could probably have this debate later down the road, but I believe, even though we don't have Jason Tatum, I still believe we're a legitimate championship team. Jaylen Brown is playing MVP caliber basketball. Everybody is feeling nice. I do like Vooch. I do like it because, again, we kind of do need a big man. And I do kind of like it because you're not asking, yo, Vooch, go out there and, we're going to make you no, like, Buddy can kind of settle into like a role player, kind of how a little bit, sort of, how we have Porzingis, which I'm not mad at that because we got 101 guys that can score. So I'm chilling. But in terms of the payroll, we were looking at $500 million in payroll, bro. $500 million, bro. And all of a sudden, we go from the second apron to completely out of the luxury tax. You got to admit, that's some winner stuff right there. Because, again, I'm not saying in terms of the people we brought in, because, again, unless it was Giannis, there's nobody we could have brought in that in terms of player-wise, we would have been infinite winners. However, being a team that we can still keep our core, we can go and save money. We're out the luxury tax, so now we can go get people if we really wanted to. I'm saying we're winners. Memphis. I'm gonna say Memphis is a loser, only because it's very confusing on what they're trying to do. You move on from Triple J, but you keep John Morant.
There's a reason behind that, though.
Talk to me.
There's a reason behind that. Now, I'm agreeing with you with the Boston thing because I'm looking at the Vooch role with this team, and watching the Chicago Bulls games, Vooch would be like the typical, get his 10 and 15 here and there, 10 and 20 here and there. But Vooch can play a laid-back role because he doesn't have to do most of the offense going through him. He has JB, he has Pritchard, and has a lot of people that can score on that team. So that works out for Boston for him. That wasn't a bad trade. But this John Morant situation, now we talking about a guy who's been on the sideline and been on the bench wearing fur mink coats. Mm-hmm. His dad taking up for him against friends. And it's just ridiculous at this point because Memphis is just wasting their money on him. And he doesn't want to really be there because he doesn't have his coach who was there before that really put the offense into his hands. And everybody was confused about that firing because I was confused as well too because they were good with that coach. Not saying they're good with this coach, but I think Memphis really want to rebuild.
Mhm.
And you can tell by that because I looked at their tickets and you could be on the lowest flow seat for about $30, $40.
Mm.
Shoot, the highest upper seat is $2. So you talking about a fan base that's really not there, and then you're charging these prices to get in this game, which is ridiculous. And y'all didn't want to trade him at the trade deadline because there was nobody that wanted him. I find that hard to believe. I think some teams wanted him, but they don't want to deal with the off the court personality, and that what kills it. So hopefully by free agency summer they can do something with him, but I don't think he's gonna want to be on this team no longer. He doesn't have all his comrades that were with him when he got drafted. So it's gonna be like you're playing with new people and you can't get along with them and you can't get along with the coach. So why even be there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and honestly, like I said, like and like you said, to pretend like no one wanted John Morant. Yeah, and I understand the whole issues thing. I understand that, but it's also like when a guy doesn't want to be in an organization, he'll do whatever it takes. That's kind of like the reality of it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just takes you going somewhere else to kind of get your act together. You know? So God listen, God bless him. You know, I don't know. Another loser before we move on, last loser I want to touch up on the Kings. How do you give us a bonus and not get a first round pick?
They gave us a bonus. They didn't? I thought they didn't give us a bonus.
They did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If I ain't bugging, I could be smoking crack.
No, they didn't give us a bonus. They gave away Keon Ellis and Schroeder.
Yeah, my bad. But still, even so, the point still remains. I mean, think about it, bro. This is probably
the Clippers got to be a loser too, bro.
Oh my God!
Don't get into them.
I'm gonna get into.
They traded Zubac to the Pacers. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him in a minute because that is like a mistake in and of itself. But you're still stuck with Zach LaVine's contract, that colossal thing. Sabonis's this is the highest his stock is gonna be. Period. This is the highest it's gonna be probably, and you don't move him. You're still stuck with
the nigga at the DeRozan. That's like the Bulls 2.0.
Right. It literally is. And like you said, they move on from Keon Ellis. A young guard. Cool. I love that for them. I really do. But it just kind of shows you how bad this franchise is. Because they ended up getting rid of Schroeder to dump his contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they signed him like what it's like been like what from now like what 7-ish, 8-ish months ago, something like that.
Same time as Westbrook, yep.
Right. The funny thing about it, they could have signed Keon Ellis, right, to a more friendly deal, more long-term deal, been cheaper. But they didn't want to. You want to know why? They had to save money for Dennis Schroeder, the same guy that they just traded. And their reasoning for getting rid of Keon Ellis was because he was a young guard that they couldn't afford.
I find that hard to believe.
Like at this point, like the Kings had one good year, and they're drunk on it, and they're still living through those allegedly glory days. What a time to be alive. Now, the Cavaliers and the Clippers. Talk to me about the Clippers, man. Talk to me about that franchise right now, dog.
No, that franchise is trying to catch up to a franchise in their town that has titles, and they've been trying to do that for years and years. I'm not saying that the Clippers organization needs to rebuild again, but come on, man. Let's be honest. You went wrong when you first got James Harden. Now, I'm not saying James Harden was a bad person to get, but y'all know how he was gonna act. He'd been doing this act since he left Houston. He, Houston got him some weapons, got rid of him because he didn't like him. Dwight, Chris Paul, then he leaves Houston, goes to Brooklyn. KD, Kyrie did it for 1 year, lost to the Bucks. Second year, he wasn't feeling it, so he went to Philly. Teamed up with Daryl Morey again, and then teamed up with Giannis that year for the MVP. Now, if you remember how I remember, they were supposed to go to the East. Wasn't they in the Eastern Conference Finals or the semifinals? And I think that was against Miami.
Ooh.
And they let them come back from a devastating lead. And Mr. Harden only had 5 points. He blamed it on Giannis. Left to the Clippers. Now he's at the Clippers doing his little thing. Then he wants to trade because everybody's injured. But this team was making a comeback back into the playoff push. Everybody was trying to get back healthy. They were working together. I think they were like 3 or 4 games from being like 9th place. So they can be in the play-in. And news breaks out that he wants to trade to Cleveland. Now, I think it could work out in Cleveland, but here's why I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear him saying like, oh, Cleveland don't work out. But you coming into an organization where they failed the last 2 times trying to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And they're trying to work their mojo, but they haven't had that right point guard. Garland's been injured for 1.5 years, and glad they got him out. But let's say like Harden comes in, and you got Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. That lightens the load. So you have a backup point guard, a point guard that plays defense, and then you got a point guard that plays offense in James Harden. And now he comes in. Now who's going to take the shots? You're taking away a lot of shots from Mitchell.
No, you're not.
And that's why I think that's going to butt heads, because that's Mr. Mitchell's team, not your team. And I don't think he should take that many shots from Mitchell. I think he should just play the average point guard role. If you get 20 and 10, that's okay. But make sure Mitchell scores his points and make sure everybody else around you play off you.
So,
but I think the Clippers lost that trade too.
Okay. Why do you think between the Cleveland Cavaliers, you really think they lost that trade?
The Cleveland Cavaliers, they lose the trade?
No, because you said you feel like the Clippers lost the trade, right?
I feel like the Clippers, with Garland, they only got Garland back.
Okay, I just want to understand this perfectly, right? Like, you're saying that okay,
it's 50-50. So I'm saying what? from a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, I'm not a Cleveland Cavaliers, but if I was a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, I'll be semi-happy because now you got a guy, but he's flip-floppy, He's flip-floppy. For the Clippers, that's less of a headache because they don't have to deal with that. Now they just got to deal with Kawhi and rebuilding and do what they need to do. But they got a point guard in Garland who I believe when he's fully healthy can get the job done. But I think Cleveland, they're in, win or go home mode, and that's all they've been in since these trades.
Right. So basically, the Clippers sent James Harden to Cleveland for Darius Garland and a future second-round pick. So this is, in my opinion, this is just a me thing. I believe genuinely the Clippers lost an every single sense of the word. 110%. I understand that Darius Garland was having injury issues. I understand that. I do. But this is still a kid who not only does he fit the role perfectly in terms of what they ask for him, right? But like before he got injured, Buddy was in the last 6 games he played, like it was like 5 of his last 6, he dropped 20.
Mm-hmm.
And of those games, and I'm talking about of those games, the efficiency was great because 4 of the last 6, I think it was like over 60% he's shooting from the floor. This kid fit everything that they wanted. He really did. He fit everything that they wanted. I don't understand why you would trade him. And I get it, the injury stuff to an extent. I don't know why you would trade a
youthful,
not just youthful, but I mean for James Harden, because the thing is, they're saying that this is for a playoff type of right. On what planet is this a remotely close to a playoff push? Because you're getting a James Harden who, don't even get me, like, when's the last time you heard, woo, what a playoff performance by James Harden? When's the last time you done heard some bullshit about that? Spoiler alert, never. Never.
Since Houston.
Come on,
days.
man. Yo,
Since
we
Houston.
still looking at it from that, what was it, game 6 against the Spurs? I'm still looking for him from that day. Been damn near a decade. I don't comprehend this. I really don't. To each their own. Because James Harden's gonna go in there and in like 2 months he's gonna hate it. I can already tell because like Donovan Mitchell is that guy. There's no debate. He is that guy. There's just no debate about it at all.
That's no debate.
Right. And if you think Donovan Mitchell gonna lose touches to James Harden, child play. I ain't trying to be disrespectful now. But no shot is Donovan Mitchell going to lose touches to this dude. It doesn't make a lick of sense. Before we move on, Washington Wizards. I don't know if I want to call them winners or if I want to call them losers. I really don't. What I will say is they're kind of cultivating a little, they got a decent amount of talent. They might be something to look at in terms of, the future. Like this offseason, they could be like, they got Tweedledum and Tweedledee, So, teach their own. I just want to throw that out there. Teach their own. I'm not trying to. I hate Washington, by the way. I really do. Bump Trae Young and Anthony Davis probably got injured getting off the plate. So I hate them. But in terms of name value, I think we can make an argument that they're trying to do a little something this offseason.
They're sneaky. They're very sneaky. And I think another team has a sneaky team that want to trade from the
Wizards are basketball purgatory. For sure. Hopefully they can change that. Listen, this in terms of them being basketball purgatory, let me say this real quick, Denny, and I'm gonna give it right back to you.
Yep.
Right now, they're basketball purgatory. They have an opportunity now to change that. They definitely have that opportunity. Because nowadays, people aren't looking at destinations anymore. They're looking at players.
And potential.
So, like, in terms of name value, you got, no matter how you feel about them, in terms of name value, you got Trae Young and you got Anthony Davis. They're purgatory now. They could potentially change that. My just fear is just the organization is going to fuck it up. But go ahead, Denny.
Yeah. Wizards, they're sneaky. So I'm not counting them out. But I also like what Charlotte did. Went out and got Kobe White. And to me, I've been seeing Charlotte on my radar a little bit. They beat Houston last night. So they've been winning their last couple of games, and they just beat the Bulls to get in that playoffs, that play-in spot.
Man,
So
Charlotte's
yeah,
popping.
Charlotte is doing the damn thing, and they possibly could have. I'm not saying rookie of the year, but Khan is going crazy.
Oh yeah, he going
Them
bonkers.
Duke boys are going crazy right now.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but yeah, no, they going crazy. Hornets are sneaky good. I mean, look,
Sneaky, very sneaky.
I just think they just got a little lucky. You know, everyone gets hot. You know what I mean? The Hornets, they've shown you kind of this consistently. 1-2 months out of the year, they get hot, and it's the same conversation we had ever since they got LaMelo Ball. 2 months out of the year, they'll get relatively hot, or 1 month out of the year they'll get hot, and they'll go, oh, they're sneaky, and then they come back down to reality. So I'm not, in terms of the Hornets, I'm really not sold yet on them. Because, like I said, it's been the conversation. Back to the Washington thing real quick. Like I said, 2 players who picked 5 years ago, street close. Like I said, it don't matter how we look at them. The league still looks at them in a certain regard. And then Flag is rookie of the year. Look, I do think that it is Cooper's flag.
It is right now.
For now.
But Khan is sneaking up.
I don't know, man. I think right now, if you did a poll, I think they'd put Don over Cooper right now. I'm not even going to lie to you. Me, personally, if I have a vote, I'm going with Cooper Flag for sure. But I don't know. I think Don is for sure in that conversation. But moving on from winners to losers and just straight up losers. I'm telling you, bro, the NFL, bro, is like, I'm losing my mind with them, and I have no idea what to do with them anymore. Can you explain to me? Why Bill Belichick is not a unanimous Hall of Famer?
Oh,
can you explain that to me?
I can't even explain that to you. That's tough. Because not even Robert Kraft is in there neither. So that's even way tough. And to have, hold on, this is the disrespectful part, because somebody was talking about this with me earlier. They said if Adam Vinatieri gets in before those two,
what are we doing?
What are they doing?
What are we doing?
And I think and we talked about this the last show, the Deflate Gate and all this other stuff. We have some people on that committee that doesn't want the organization to succeed. Basically, they don't want Bill nor Robert in the Hall of Fame. And that's a shame. I think Bill Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer as a coach. No doubt about it. Robert Kraft, Hall of Fame as well. But to not have those two at the forefront and have Vinatieri up in there, and I know Vinatieri's going to say something. I know Vinatieri's going to go off. He's going to say something about it.
No, you're not.
You don't think so?
Heck, you nah. The thing is, it's not popular as a player right now to defend Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick is bugging out right now in North Carolina, bro. Like he married someone his daughter's age, right? He wifed it up shorty. Like they don't have sex, bro. They don't. They watch.
She'll probably say something about it though.
Her crackhead ass probably gonna say something. I'm convinced she's a crackhead. I don't care. Sue me. I don't care. But like, okay, these are the Hall of Fame inductees. Okay, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig. No disrespect at all. The only two that I will accept that they're first ballot Hall of Famers is Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald.
I think Luke Kuechly's too early.
Way too early!
Too early. He retired 8 years ago. That's crazy.
As I said on our show, the Hall of Fame is cheap in itself. Also, Darryl Woodson should be over Roger Craig. They said something about Roger Craig. It took too long for him to go in. It's kind of like, oh, we feel bad things. Something stupid like that. But then again, it kind of goes to what you're saying. If we're just letting people in because we feel bad, now it's no longer the Hall of Fame.
Where did Luke Kuechly come from? That's what I want to know. That's 8 years ago. That ain't even been that long. And
listen, no beats to Luke Kuechly. However, when you retire as early as he did, there are other people. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't care what it was. If Luke Kuechly is a first ballot Hall of Famer, J.J. Watt will be a no ballot. This man is just gonna waltz in there.
Oh, definitely. With the way they think right now.
No disrespect to Luke Kuechly. Listen, I got respect for Luke Kuechly. He was a great linebacker, phenomenal mind. I would never, I'm not taking that away from him. But to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, the delusion is insane to me. Like I said, the only two that I will accept, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald. That's it. Other than that, I would get rid of Vinatieri. Vinatieri can go in next year. Same thing with Luke Kuechly. You can go in next year. For you not to have the greatest coach of all time, argue with your mom about it, but the greatest head coach of all time is to not have him in the Hall of Fame as a first ballot is lunacy. It's lunacy. And by the way, people want to bring up the Deflategate. When it was happening, every quarterback came out and said, we do the same thing. Literally there's only one quarterback who didn't say that. And you want to know who it was? Andrew Luck, who just so happened to be the Colts quarterback, the same team that we put foot to ass in before all that stuff came out. Other than that, everybody else, Aaron Rodgers said it, Drew Brees said it, Ben Roethlisberger said it. Everyone said it. Everyone was like, yeah. So, for the Deflategate thing, cool. And again, the same thing with Spygate, which I think is the dumbest thing in the world. People put gate at the end of it to try to make it seem controversial. You do know that every team literally does it, right? And every team gets caught doing it every year. You know that, right?
Even the MLB.
Right. And again, and this is not like a beef thing, but how do you think they scout when they say, hey, we're going to go scout someone? How do you think they do that? What are we talking about? If you think right now that the Patriots aren't doing walkthroughs and someone from Seattle is not watching them, you're a crackhead. You're on drugs. Because it's part of the game. It's a different story if you're on the sideline and you're using technology to try to get it in. That's one thing. To an extent. But even then, you can't even say that because they got iPads on the freaking sidelines. They got iPads on the sideline, the tablet stuff, the Microsoft Surface stuff. So even then, you really can't say that either. So it's like, I guess, yeah, we want to punish them for what they did. All right, cool, I guess. But at some point, we got to understand, okay, we're kind of punishing him for some stupid stuff. Luke Kuechly was the best linebacker in the NFL from his day one until his last day. Listen, I'm not trying to say he's a bum. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Luke Kuechly's a bum.
He's definitely not a bum.
For sure. He's far from it.
We were just saying it's just too early.
I'm just going to say this.
If they doing that, then I think J.J. Watt's going to be a first ballot next year.
At this point, J.J. Watt going to be a first ballot. I'm not going to hold you. You better fucking get in the Hall of Fame while playing. Look, no disrespect to Luke Kuechly. None. But I want you to do me a favor. Go to a mirror, say, Luke Kuechly is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and try not to laugh. No disrespect to Luke Kuechly. No disrespect. But to pretend that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, to me, is kind of wild. It's just kind of wild. Same thing with Adam Vinatieri. First ballot Hall. Sure, I guess, if you don't have anybody else, but bro, Bill Belichick, that's what we're doing here. Because if Bill Belichick had the same career and played for San Francisco, he could have done the same exact stuff he did. He do it over in San Francisco. Guess what? Still first ballot Hall of Famer. If he did this entire thing for the Dallas Cowboys, still first ballot Hall of Famer. Oh, my mother, if they put Jesse Garrett in the Hall of Fame, bro, I'm boycotting football for the rest of my life. I'm not joking. Because the Hall of Fame is going down a dangerous road right now. And I don't know if anyone has said this yet, but I'm telling you this right now, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Denny, if I'm tweaking, it is your job to check me. But on my mother, the way this Hall of Fame is going, they about to induct Mike McCarthy here in a couple years. They don't care that he's still coaching. They about to put Mike McCarthy, who's this bum ass in there.
That'd be bullshit. Before Bill Belichick,
Well, here's my thing. I'm gonna put it to you this way, though. I'll put it to you this way, man. I could, like I said, I could be tripping. Matter of fact, Danny, let me ask you a question. Let's say they put Bill Belichick in next year. Does that kind of justify this?
No, not really. You can try to justify it, but we're still gonna be like, oh, okay. It took us from the social media and the fans for you to put him in. Now you finally put him in. When he should have been put in last year. That's not gonna feel like a win. That's gonna feel like an insult.
And some people are like, because listen, sometimes I'll be going through Twitter, right? I'll be going through Twitter and I'll be like reading stuff and whatnot. Or X, I'm sorry. I'm not hip. And some people are saying, well, Bill Belichick wasn't in it because with a name like Bill Belichick, he's got to be the headliner. Are you on drugs? This man, Bill Belichick, is not like a talkative guy like that. That's not him. And by that same logic, then Larry Fitzgerald shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame right now. Because of how great he is, he should headline his own class.
That's facts.
At some point, Matt, like,
I think they just going off, to be honest with you, I think they're just going off of names. That's what's really going off of now, because now you see like, oh, this guy was like this, so we're going to choose him over this guy who deserves it more.
I don't comprehend this. I really don't. And honestly, it's not even just a Hall of Fame thing anymore. It's low-key becoming a football thing. Because the Pro Bowl is becoming doo-doo. Even the Pro Bowl. Look, I'm not, listen, I like Shador. I'm not one of these, people that be tweaking out about it. But I will say this. There is something wrong with the NFL where you can't get the Hall of Fame right and the Pro Bowl, which is nobody wants to play the Pro Bowl anymore. You know how bad that is? This is the best of these are supposed to be the best of the best. And Justin Fields is saying no. Let that sink in. Justin Fields is saying no.
It turned to flag football, which is actually worse.
I don't even care about the flag football. I don't really care about that, to be honest. I don't really care. Because they be doing some cornball stuff, trying to keep it entertaining, so kind of. But there's no one cares about it. And I think it's an indictment on where the NFL is right now. You know what I mean? They can't get it together in terms of the Hall of Fame. They can't get it together in terms of the Pro Bowl. Not trying to be rude, but at some point, they're going to have to fall down a flight of stairs. Keep it in football. The greatest organization that ever graced college on earth, formerly represented by one Bill Belichick, before he decided to date his babysitter or something. I don't know. I love Bill, but Jesus Christ. Seattle Seahawks will fuck a segue, man. Fuck it, man. The Seattle Seahawks
are gonna lose to the fucking New England Patriots.
I don't care what anybody says. Okay. Drake May was robbed of MVP. Matthew Stafford won a poverty award. Congratulations. I will say though, it was a little cute what they did for him. They kind of for his kids did this thing where our dad, gassing up their pops. I was all right, cool. That's cool. I love that. Other than that, poverty franchise, poverty award show. I don't respect them. From now on, you an MVP means nothing. I'm about to put a bet on it. Patriots about to blow the doors off Seattle. I think we're about to blow the doors off them. I really do. I might be a little drunk right now. Might be. We about to blow the doors off them. Like Drake May, I'm gonna put it. You remember when Seattle, when they played the Denver Broncos and the Broncos fumbled, I think it was like the first or second snap, and it went downhill from there. Seattle about to be on the receiving end of it. Okay, they're about to be on the receiver. By the way, if the Patriots lose, there's no show next week. Just throwing that out there. There's gonna be zero show because I'm not. I made too many bets right now to come back from this road. So I made bets in my personal life and at work. So I just understand if the Patriots lose, I'm going MIA for a minimum of 3 days. I'm not dead. Swear to God, I'm not dead. But I need to disappear for like 3 to 4 days. You know what I mean? Because like I might pop up randomly on a Friday and talk about, yo, what's good? You know what I mean? Because if we lose, I'm losing my mind. But all right, Daddy. I told you your job is to check me. Tell me why I'm crazy when I'm saying that we want to blow the doors off of the Seattle Seahawks.
You must be drinking something over there. What you drinking over there? What are you drinking over there? What are you drinking over there? See, I'm not gonna go down this road again. Like I'm ready. I'm so ready for Sunday. I'm so ready for Sunday. I'm so ready for Sunday Pride. Because I got tired. You know how long I've been waiting for my team to get back in the Super Bowl? Since I'm not even gonna say since your team. I'm gonna blame that on the fire coach, Pete Carroll. I'm gonna blame that on Pete Carroll. Cause what's that? What's that 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1? I don't even know what down it was. But when you're at the goal line, and you got and people keep bringing this up. You remember what happened the time when you didn't run the ball in? Oh, I remember. I was in college, and I had sat in front of a whole bunch of Patriots fans heckling me, and I've been hearing it for what, that whole month and the month after that too. I was like, oh man, I was devastated. I was hurt. I had the face like Richard Sherman after he saw it. Like, what the hell was going on? What was the game plan with that plan? But now it's a whole new scenario where we have a Sam Darnold running back that's going to run, and we got an offensive and a defensive. But I don't think there's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Dre May is going to show why he got snubbed for MVP. I think Sam Darnold is still going to show why the Vikings passed on him. You know, it's a lot of what ifs and what could happen. But I want my team to win. Now, if my team don't win, I'm going to come back Friday. I don't care. I'm going to say good game. We made it to the Super Bowl. That all that matters. But if we lose, I'm going to be drunk until Friday.
I will text you good game for sure. For sure, you know, but I genuinely believe that I believe offensively it's going to be a very balanced game, you know, in terms of us, you know, passing and running the ball. And Christian Gonzalez, he's going to get a pick, you know, maybe even a pick 6, you know, because, you know, we just like that, you know what I mean? It's going to be we're just going to dismantle. We're going to expose Seattle. By the time we're done with you guys, we will fire head coach and you guys will go back to obscurity. We will single-handedly make you guys, you know, last year division. And what I'm gonna text Drake May because me and Drake I've been calling him Draco. Sort of God, I've been calling him Draco. What are my mother, bro? Because you know he got that thing on him. I be texting him, right? So I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna be like, yo, listen, bro. When we win, not if, but when we win, we gonna on a tour next year. You know what I mean? So what we gonna do is every game we wearing that ring. Yeah, we wearing that ring, and we gonna be like, well, for the coin toss, we wearing the ring on our right hand. I know it's not supposed to be on our right hand, but we wearing it there. So when they shake our hand, they see the glistening. When they shake our hand, they feel the weight. They gonna feel it all. Pause. That's not crazy. But they gonna see and acknowledge that Drake May
is the best fucking quarterback in the NFL.
I don't care what no one says. You can keep it Patrick Mahomes. He can't even stay healthy. Goofy. Okay. Matthew Stafford went and got veneers, so I you know what I mean? My guy got his natural smile. Feel me? You know what I mean? Like, who else you think is a better quarterback? Wrong. Lamar Jackson got acne. My guy don't. We chilling, bro.
Jack.
I don't care. I don't care. You don't give me any reason for me to take my man Drake May, and I'm taking it. I don't care. You saw what we did to CJ Stroud? We pumped out to ass and made him get a haircut. That's what we do. That's what we do to quarterbacks. We break them down.
We ruin careers.
That's what we do. That's what we do. We made him get a haircut. Feel me? After what we did at Justin Herbert, they felt so bad they threw him an MVP. They'd be like, yo, here's your consolation prize. Take one, bro. I do what the Patriots did to you here. Get this vote, put it on a piece of paper, and wipe your tears with it, my boy. That's what we do. That's what we do. Now imagine what we gonna do to the Seattle Seahawks. Just imagine. Close your eyes. And just take this lap with me, right? Betty's coming down. Sam Darnold. He's looking on, his gaze is off into the distance. Jackson Smith and Jigba crying. Drake May goes over to him and extends his hand out. Hey, young fella. I know a place where you could win. They shake hands. And all of a sudden, a few years' time, Jackson Smith and Jigba becomes the New England Patriots. Oh! That's what we go. That's what's gonna happen. We ruin. We are franchise killers right now, dog. We are franchise killers, bro. No respect.
Franchise killers.
That's what we do, bro. We like that, bro. We like that.
Sure.
We like that. Yo, question. You watch wrestling?
Of course.
Oh my God. Come Sunday.
Acknowledge me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's way disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's way disrespectful.
Yeah. Throw your ones in the air.
Ain't throwing no ones in the air.
You the
Ain't
twos,
throwing no ones in the
and
air.
we the ones. Yes, sir. I need you to understand, bro. This is real.
I'm gonna need
life.
you to throw your 12s in the air.
Oh yeah. Because by the time we done, Drake May will have 12 of them things. Yes, sir. He'll have 12 of them things. That's why I call him Drake. We got 12 of the clip. He said, "Who on it? Who on next? Who on next?" He said, "Who on next?" One for Sam Darnold. Who else wanted? Everybody in the coach staff can get one too.
It's gonna be a good one.
It better be.
But we got a quarterback that's injured that's been playing through 2 games, so I'm not gonna say much. It's supposed to be not playing. Actually supposed to have Drew Lock as the quarterback, but you know.
I will give Sam Darnold, credit because
He's
like
playing
you said,
through an oblique injury.
yes, and he should have, not for nothing, he should be out. He should be, you know what I mean? And I will give him credit because again, he's fighting through it. And obviously I know for a fact it hurts him, but like Buddy, I think it was like in midway of January is when he first suffered it. And he's been playing through. I know he's in pain, but he's been playing great, leading nice comebacks. Dude, I think he's still gonna play. I know there's some people trying to say, "Oh, he's questionable." Yeah, bump all that noise, bro. If Buddy could walk, he's gonna go play. He's 1,000. Sam Darnold's 1,000% gonna play.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think we was gonna lose, but when Mr. Wooden cost us that.
Oh, that penalty! Oh my days!
Oh my God!
started laughing.
I threw my drink at the TV, and my dad was like, "Well, at least it wasn't a bad drink." I was like, "Man, look." At the end of the day, like that, and then it's in a championship game, which pissed me off because the same ref was calling the same bullshit ass plays through the rest of the game, giving the Rams, some comeback fever. And I'm just like, if they pull this motherfucker off, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I can't watch it. I'm gonna root for the Patriots to win against the Rams. That's how I was feeling. But lo and behold, defense showed, and I knew the Rams was gonna go on that fourth down. So
God bless him. But yeah, Patriots in 4. We chilling. So a week ago during the U.S. Open, Coco Golf kind of was like, it's like the ramp that they kind of go up to. I think it's to go up to the locker room. And like, I'm sorry, not the U.S. Open, the Australian Open. She was an Aussie.
Mm-hmm.
And Shorty crashed the fuck out. She crashed the fuck out. And it kind of led to something of a thing because people were trying to classify it as a private meltdown, so to speak, right? Where it's a situation where, she wasn't in front of people, so, she shouldn't, it kind of started this weird conversation of her going through that stuff. Was she really in private? Was she not? Me personally, I don't think she was in private. I don't. It's a place where cameras are allowed and you're at the event. It's kind of the same thing. Like, for example, the way I look at it is very comparable, kind of like the NBA, right? When you're going to the, you're running up the tunnel, and you're heading back to the locker room. If you're in that tunnel, beating the dog shit out the wall, yeah, you're not in front of the fans, but you're still in the arena where there are cameras. So, like, the privacy aspect kind of goes out the window. Now, if Shorty's like crashing out in her car or something like that, like away where she thinks about herself, I do think it's more of a conversation. If I'm bugging, let me know, Denny. But I feel like she was still in the arena. She was in a place where there were cameras. And mind you, these weren't cameras from like paparazzi cameras. These are like the cameras that you see that, like, when a player from the NFL, they run up the tunnel, go in the locker room, and they got cameras in the tunnel that are meant to record the people coming in and out of the tunnel. It was one of those cameras that she got caught on. So for me, I am about, letting them, like if you're in public and you see a player and you want to chop it up with them, cool, feel free. But I'm also one of those people that's like, I kind of want to give them a wall. Because, like, I don't want to, at the end of the day, they're still human. In this aspect, if I'm wrong, Denny, you let me know. But I don't think it was anything really about privacy. I just think it was, you're on camera in the arena. Yeah, I don't really think privacy really applies to this one, bro.
My take on this is, because I was watching the Australian Open, I dip and dab in tennis here and there for when the big events come. And my thing about that is, if an athlete or a player is having their moment in the back, and like you said, the NBA has tunnels, NFL has tunnels. Like they show the team come out during the entrances, or an NBA player, pregame has his outfit. They show that. They show the same thing for WNBA as well. And then when the game's over, they show them running back towards the tunnel. And we sort of had some moments in the NBA where, players get angry, kick a, Gatorade stand, throw hits and fits. That's normal. Okay. But for tennis, we rarely see that. So when I saw it, I was just like, okay, she's crashing out. She lost. That's normal. That's a reaction. Like, you lost, you put all your effort and heart into the game, and this is her getting it out. But what she said was that stood like out to me a little bit was that she was the only one that got videotaped out of everybody during the Australian Open. And she says she only feels like privacy when she goes into the locker room. Now, I had to do my research on that, and she was the only one that got filmed crashing out. Now that may be because her ranking and everybody know who she is in tennis. And I think they could have blurred that out, but you know how you gotta get your views up for competitions and everything. And they're showing players frustrations, but I just think, you know, some athletes should have some privacy, even if it was a hard fought game. They show you pouring out emotions on the field, on the court. That should be enough. But this is TV, this is television, and ratings need to go up. So cameraman's not gonna listen to athletes, they're gonna listen to their bosses at the end of the day.
So a couple things, because she did say that, hey, I feel like it was only me. Well, the reason why I was only you is because you're the only one that crashed out there. Like that's kind of like a big thing. You crashed out there, and if you're the only person crashing out there, I'm not gonna put out film of someone just walking, like if they're getting frustrated, like head down, walking. I'm not gonna do that. There's no point. You did something that made, like, you know what I mean? So you crashed out on the camera. That's one. And two, you're in the arena. So like, the only place in an arena you're going to get privacy is where? The locker room. That's just the reality. So for me, you can't say it's a privacy. I'll be with her if she got her stuff, and she's trying to leave, and they're blocking her, and she's in her car, and she's like, you know what I mean? Like, if she's in a private area, cool. Dog, you're still in the arena, bro. You're still in the arena. And there's cameras. Because how many people have they caught back there crashing out? Not only in the Australia Open, but in the US Open as well. How many times have you seen Nick Kyrgios crashing out back there?
Oh, many times. Even on the tennis field.
I'm not even just talking about on the court, because I'm just talking about just specifically back there. You've seen Rafael Nadal do it, Roger Federer do it,
Serena's
done it, Venus has done it. So for me, it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and be all like, oh yeah, private. No, there's been people who've crashed out in the arena back there. I'm not giving you this whole thing of privacy when you're in a public area, for lack of a better word. Now, if you're in the locker room, and it's one of those times that media is not allowed in the locker room, and they're going in the locker room to be like, hey, I just saw you do this. That's a completely different story. And I will give that to her. I will. But my dog, no disrespect, but like, you're crashing out. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think anybody really was around.
Nope, nobody was around.
There was one person
I think
walking
they just
by,
heard the noise.
Like a backstage person heard the noise and was like, oops. It's not that they stayed and record. They were just look back and saw, go, oh, yoink, Scoob, and walked away. So, you know what I mean? And again, this is what also blows my mind. And like you said, I don't know. I think she's still the third ranked. I think she was like number 3 ranked. Maybe that's kind of what in her mind. Hey, lack of a better word, I'm an underdog. Or she's like, I'm the favorite. I lost. Maybe that's kind of. Is that what?
It happens.
For sure,
Especially in tennis.
Right. And my thing is this. If you want to vent frustration, I'm not mad at you for that. If you want to break your own racket, hey, it is what it is. Hey, listen, it's your money. That's your bread. If you want to break, if you're frustrated and you want to go and you want to, hey, as long as you're not hurting other people's property, you're not hurting nobody else, it's your world that we just living in. But my thing is, like, everyone has a moment like that. McEnroe did this like once a set. Don't get me started with that fucking angry motherfucker. He did this shit once a fucking set. So I don't understand what is with Coco where like I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like she just wants to be looked at as a perfect person. Because even when you be seeing her in the interviews, it's very like it's either Mariah having fun and laughs or I'm being open and vulnerable. Like she's you know what I mean? Like I don't know if you remember when Naomi Osaka when I forgot who she was playing against, but she did the let's go thing. And the lady she was playing didn't like it. So started going to the rest. So after the match is over, she was just like, I guess she was mad, but oh well, whatever. Like
I was just about to bring that up.
Yo, I loved it. I was like, yes, ma'am, don't stop on my account. I loved it. I really did. But I think Coco would never do something like that because she understands that once you start that, people are gonna look at you different. Which, by the way, Naomi, after that, for you to just like take yourself out was ridiculous. Like, you know, like I was with you. I was with everything you said. I was with you. Then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I'm withdrawing." I'm just like, I'm about to peg you in your forehead.
I think she got injured.
Nah, it was no injury.
Or was it?
It was no injury. She was in the locker room. She was about to come out, and all of a sudden she was like, "Oh, I don't want to no more." But the reason being was because they classified it as an injury. And let me preface by saying this: if it was an injury, then I apologize for what I'm about to say. But if you're in the locker room and you're about to come out, and all of a sudden you withdraw, that tells me that she knew people were gonna ask you questions, be like, "Yo, what's going on?" Like, she knew they were gonna bring that up. She knew. If she was legitimately injured, then I apologize, and I will not say, I take all this back. But to me, it seemed like she said something in the heat of the moment, which again, we didn't even say nothing crazy. She was just like, yeah, everyone says like, come on, let's go. So what's your problem? She ain't say nothing wild. She ain't say nothing crazy. But, I guess she knew that they were going to ask her about it and she didn't want to be involved. So I'm like, hey, whatever. Have your moment, queen. But,
okay, so while you was doing that, while you was talking, I looked it up. She had an abdominal injury.
Was it legitimate?
Yeah, it was legitimate.
It was legitimate?
Yeah.
Then I take it all back. I'm sorry, my beloved queen. I'll never speak ill on you ever again.
And to say something about that, because I follow Naomi's journey through. I like Naomi. I was interested like years ago into her journey to tennis. So I'm saying like I'm not like a fanboy or anything, but I am a fan. But like I said, like this, she has been through a lot of emotional stuff, and she's been dealing with it. Like in the U.S. Open, she had the the little boo boos, the little personality thing that helped her get through tennis, her matches and everything. But when she went to the Australian Open and the let's go in between breaks, and the woman's getting pissed off because she's doing it, that just pissed me off because she's doing it in between breaks. It's not like she's doing it during the match.
Right.
And she wanted to say what she really wanted to say during that post interview.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to take a step back because she's not like that anymore. So she had to, she didn't bite the tongue, but she said what she wanted to say. But her withdrawing due to an abdominal injury, I didn't see that coming. That went left. I thought it was because she had another mental breakdown. But when I looked more into it, it was an abdominal injury. So I take back what I said earlier, way before what you said. So yeah.
Like I said, and that's why I thought it was, that's why I thought it was that. Because like I said, she's been through, she has been through a lot, and it kind of sucks, But and before we move on, just to touch on her kind of not being that, is like, I understand that she doesn't want to be the same. I get it, like, because I understand her logic with that, but it's also like sometimes you got to remind people, because I feel like a lot of times, especially now lately, people have been having a problem with Naomi because not only of how great she is, but it's a lot of cool. I'm chilling. I'm gonna shut up. Like she does that a lot. A lot of like they'll say something and she'll be like, huh, sometimes you gotta remind them, yo, I'm a dog, homie. Sometimes you gotta remind I'm a dog. Like I'm a real life dog. And I got not like I said, in my mind, when I felt like she wanted to crash out a little bit, she stopped. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But I don't know, man. Sometimes, sometimes you just gotta. And again, I think a lot of the pressure that comes with her is because remember, at one point she was the number one overranked women's player. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people think when you're number one, they mistake being humble with being quiet. And it's kind of like, listen, they want to know about you. Baby girl, educate them. And they trying to test you, yo, be prepared to take out that red pen and grade them up. Because someone like Naomi, who is very phenomenal, very energetic, because, like you said, she's screaming in between breaks. The point's done. She's energetic and she's giving energy in between. It'd be one thing if she's doing this let's go shit like at the serve, right? They're about to serve. That speak that also she's doing it. That's one thing. But I mean sometimes you gotta remind them, let them know who you are. And Coco, so what if you crash out? Who gives a fuck? Okay? Who cares? Like, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. You didn't break anything. You only broke your own racket. You're going to go and pay your own thing. So God bless you. That don't matter about none of that. Me personally, I like that. That means, she got that dog in her now. She got that dog in her. I don't know. You feel me? You feel me? Because Coco, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's still top 3. No, she dropped to 4 now. So as of right now, she's 4. You are still top 5. You're still top 5.
Can I tell you?
You're still top 5. Like, a lot of people hit top 5 and they go, okay, I'm good. I'm all right. At the time she was 3, now she's 4. That tells me bump hungry. Shorty's still starving. I don't know about you, but when you got a little success and you're still starving, is that motivation? Is that motivation, dog?
Can I tell you something?
So, speaking of privacy, though, this is a conversation that I think some people are not going to enjoy because, reality time. Derrick Rose got his jersey retired. And it was a beautiful, sentimental time. Oh, yeah. He got his jersey retired. Hooray! 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 All that stupid stuff. I'm going to let you go ahead and because I'm curious, on your thoughts on it before I kind of bring us back down to reality.
He said he gonna let me go because you know what you finna say.
I'm about to crash out. I'm about to. Okay, well, it's gonna be a half crash out, but go ahead, explain to me why it's such a great thing for Derrick Rose to win MVP. Win MVP is crazy.
Okay,
to get his jersey retired. Go ahead, floor is yours.
So I'm from Chicago, so the Derrick Rose jersey retirement thing. Now you have some people because Facebook is ignorant, so yeah, some people like, yeah, we like this. We like this for Derrick Rose and what he did for the city of Chicago. Then you got that other half that is very, 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 very toxic.
Hey, how are you?
So somebody and I looked this up. It was funny because I looked at half of the comments. They was like, why they retired his jersey? He didn't do nothing for the city of Chicago. And when I tell you, I looked at the comments of everybody mad at that post. Man, so much stuff was said. But I watched this Bulls game. It was against the Boston Celtics. The Bulls won by a Kevin Herter 3-pointer to end the game. You know, he's no longer with them. He's with Detroit. So there's that. But on the other hand, you know, it was a beautiful night. You know, United Center was sold out once again. You know, you had the old teammates of Derrick Rose show up. Some that I couldn't even recognize anymore. And you had them come out, say some nice thing about Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose came out with his family and all his brothers, all his managers. And he said some things that, you know, touched the people of Chicago. To me, should he got his jersey retired? And I don't want to say it, but I think, you know, if injuries didn't plague him, you know, but this is sports and it's going to happen anyway. And we would have won a ring.
Hell no, don't do that. 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 Oh my God, that's disgusting.
But I'm not going to say.
Let me shut up. Go ahead. Have your moment. Have your moment. Let me shut up.
But to me, I think he deserves it. Not going to lie, because it's a lot of kids who don't get to hoop for their city. And I'm going to throw shade at the Chicago Bulls again, because what the hell did traded Io? They traded another Chicago person from Chicago. But this organization is pitiful. But he come from Chicago, and his family was, you know, heavily gained, and they kept him out of what he's not supposed to do. And that led him to being drafted. He didn't know he'd get drafted to the Bulls, but it happened. And a lot of kids from Chicago the younger versions look up to him. They be like, oh man, I watched. Some didn't get to watch Michael Jordan coming up. I didn't get to watch Mike. Well, I watched Mike when he was on the Wizards. That's it. Other than that, no. And some kids, they didn't have a great to look up. They'll just watch Kobe highlights, Mike highlights, but they get to go see Derrick Rose. So, should he deserve it for the city of Chicago? Yeah. But some people would be like, no, because all he did was won an MVP and didn't give us a ring. But those are those people. I'm not one of those. I just think it's a lot of people up in the Raptors who didn't bring a ring to the organization, but they get their jersey retired anyway because they left the mark on that organization in that city. And he left the mark on that organization in the city of Chicago as well.
Have you completed your objective?
You can.
All right. No, he did not deserve to get his jersey retired. There's no debate. There's no debate. The only, if you look at anyone outside of Chicago, they'll say no. The only people, and again, a lot of people who say, oh yeah, he should have got his jersey retired, is for the reason that you stated. Hey, it was, you know, he's a Chicago kid through and through. We drafted him. He played for us. He was born in Chicago. He was raised in Chicago. He played for us.
Won the MVP.
Probably MVP because he didn't deserve that MVP. But we could. I don't care what anybody says. It was MVP fatigue because they were tired of giving it to Braun, so they just gave it to a poverty kid in a poverty franchise, same franchise that couldn't do shit. Come on, I don't want to hear nothing about another, bro. Anyways, no, he didn't. Good player, very good player, but we don't retire jerseys for very good players. Now, people say, "Oh, what if he didn't get hurt? What?" I don't know about none of that, bro.
We don't know.
Yeah, you assume like Like I don't. When your jersey gets retired, we don't retire your jersey because of, like, for example, I will say this to my dying breath. I'm a Celtics fan. Okay, I'm a Celtics fan. The day they retire Paul Pierce's jersey, I'm boycotting the Boston Celtics. Paul Pierce does not deserve to have his jersey retired by the Boston Celtics. But in order to have your jersey retired, there's a level of standard that needs to be reached. To have your jersey retired, the expectation and the bar needs to be higher than the Hall of Fame itself. Because you're never touching that number again. You're never touching that number again. Ever. So for me, it's like the only thing you can really say that, oh yeah, Derrick Rose, you know, he was born here, he played here, awesome. That's cool. I understand that to an extent, but that just because you were born there doesn't mean you should get your jersey retired. Because I'm talking about Buddy in his totality. I don't think it's fair, because by that logic, Trailblazers better retire Bill Walton's number, because woo, Buddy was popping for, what was it, 2.5 years? Buddy was popping for 2.5 years. But, like, for me, it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but I am at the same time. Like, this dude is like, he was all right. Not trying to be disrespectful, but he was all right. He was. Yes, he was all right. He was all right. If you look at it in its totality,
you say all right in what way?
In any way you want it. Any way you want it. I don't care about none of that. He was all right.
Okay. In your terms, all right.
He was all right.
I haven't seen no point guard move like that in a while since him. I've seen explosiveness, but I haven't seen much acrobaticness.
Now we doing too much. Stop. No. Okay. Russell Westbrook is infinitely.
He's getting old though. He
doesn't matter.
His explosiveness is still a little bit there, but it's not.
No, like, okay, but that speaks volumes. If you got to compare the explosiveness of a prime Derrick Rose to Russell Westbrook now, that speaks volumes.
You know who I say got it like him, but isn't really living up to the potential? The guy who we talked about earlier,
John Morant. But I don't care what anyone says. Before Buddy fucking wanted to put a blicky out, he was way more exposed than Derrick Rose. Argue with your mama.
Trying to dunk on 7-footers every night is crazy.
Easily. Like, and again, to each their own. I don't think he should have. But again, I'm looking at it as a legitimate basketball guy. People from Chicago feel differently because you're not looking at it based on what he's done. You're looking at it based on the story. You know what I mean? Buddy was here. He was a fan of the team. He was born and raised here. We drafted him number 1 overall. He got a fluke MVP because they felt bad because we were getting our asses beat by the Miami Heat every other week, right? Then after that, then LeBron left, and then we were getting our ass beat by the Cavaliers, right? So like, but again, listen, in my opinion, availability is the best ability. And that factors in too. Like, again, we fry Anthony Davis for his injuries, yet people glorify Derrick Rose. People vilify. Like, give me who else outside of Anthony Davis do you look at as injury prone? I've got one. Kawhi Leonard.
That's questionable because you can say he's injury prone and he just like to rest.
No. I'm talking about outside the rest. Outside the rest, he's becoming injury prone. Outside of the rest, he's becoming injury prone.
Him.
But what I'm saying is we vilify those guys. Joel Embiid.
Most definitely. Paul George. Oh, definitely not gonna talk about him now.
We not doing. He does not deserve. He does not deserve mention because that dude.
That's Pusha P.
Oh my god, dog! Yo, buddy, pissed. Yo, buddy, pissed. Yo, did you see what he said too? Like his statement.
No, I didn't see his statement.
I'm about to read this joint to you because I've never in my life laughed so hard reading something because I'm like, buddy, like I would never in my life. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Does that question? Because I was like, does the NBA just randomly drug players?
Yeah, they randomly drug test them. Yeah. See, the difference with the NBA is because, like, in the NBA, you don't got to be the biggest guy. So they don't. When they drug test you, they don't really be drug testing for like for like PEDs. Or stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure they still do. But so this is what he said, and I will never in my life. So this right here, ready? And by the way, he said this to Shams, right? This is what he said, quote, over the past few years, I've discussed the importance of mental health. As soon as he said that, I lost all respect for him. Because this is not a mental health thing. This is not.
It's not.
That's like Lou Will when he went when the COVID thing happened and he went to Atlantic City and got caught. Imagine Buddy was just like, mental health. But this is what he said. Over the past few years, I've discussed the importance of mental health. And in the course of recently seeking treatment for an issue of my own, I made the mistake of taking an improper medication. I take full responsibility for my actions and apologize to the Sixers organization, my teammates, and the Philly fans for my poor decision-making during this process. I am focused on using this time to make sure that my mind and body are in the best condition to help the team when I return. So here are multiple lines in that statement. First and foremost, well, I'm not even going to touch on whether or not he really was going through some mental health stuff because I don't know, right? But I made the mistake of taking an improper medication. You didn't make a mistake. You smoked a doobie. You rolled the joint. I'm like 90% positive that's what it is.
But ain't this? Hold on. Didn't they back off of that?
No.
I could have sworn they back off of weed.
No, they still drug that thing so. I'm gonna see if they actually even leaked what he even tested positive for.
I think it was something else. I don't think it was weed.
But what else could it be though? What else could it be? What else could it be? If it's a PED, if it's a PED, no way it's only 25 games. If it's a performance-enhancing drug, no way it's only 25 games. So now that means it has to be a recreational drug. Can't be something like cocaine. Can't be something like heroin. It can't be any of those hard drugs. So based on how I'm, of all the stuff, I'm thinking it had to be marijuana. It had to be. Granted, they, I don't know. But
I forgot they did the same thing to OJ Mayo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And now he's overseas.
They told OJ Mayo, don't come back.
They told him don't come back. 2 years,
right.
Don't come back.
Right.
Now he's coaching overseas.
Got no choice. Now a lot of people think it's like Xanax or Adderall or something, and it's like, no, you don't get suspended for those. You don't get suspended for those. The only way you would is if you didn't have a prescription for them. But again, if you don't have a prescription for them, that's real life charges. So I don't know. I don't see. That's why I'm thinking me is marijuana. That's what I'm thinking. But an improper medication, if you know it's improper, that's not a mistake. So that's line number one. Number two, this is the funniest lie of it all. I'm focused to come back to the best. I'm focused on using this time to make sure my mind and my body are in the best condition to help the team when I return. First of all, you're not helping the team. Okay? You are, I don't want to say terrible, but terrible. Like I don't want to say you're garbage, but you're garbage, right? Like you're bad. So like, it's 25 games, which is funny, right? And And again, I find it hilarious. I don't understand. Because again, they got Paul George to kind of be the big three with him, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey. How many games are we into the regular season? Excuse me. Do you know how many games are roughly into the regular season? I just want to make so we're about the halfway point, right?
Halfway because the All-Star weekend is this week, and next week.
So, I just want to put it in perspective. Matter of fact, you know what? We're gonna add up the games that the Philadelphia 76ers have played. I want to put this into context, right? This is why I laugh when Paul George says stupid stuff like that. Oh, I'm gonna help us win. Fucking bum. 29 wins. They're 29-22. Add that together. That is 51 games. Okay. This glorious big three of Paul George, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. Do you know how many games they played together? 17. They played 17 games together. I don't. I'm gonna come back, and when we come back, I'm gonna be great. What's dumber? What's dumber? Paul George thinking he can make a positive contribution to any team, or Derrick Rose getting his jersey retired? What's funnier? What's dumber?
Paul George.
Jesus H. Christ.
Paul fucking George.
Before we end, there's a new segment. Denzel's idea, actually, and honestly, I'm loving it. The L of the week. You give me a loser. It could be anything. Anything. I don't care what sport. I don't care what it is. Someone that you looked at and your first thought was loser. Denny, who is your loser of the week?
Oh, man. The loser of the week. Man, I don't know if you saw this, but there was the Lopez and Shakur fight over the weekend.
I've never laughed so hard in my entire life, by the way. Never.
And the guy's name is Jarrell Miller. And if y'all haven't seen this is so funny. So the backstory of this was, and I saw the Breakfast Club interview. The man paid $700 for a toupee. $700 for a hairpiece, and he's bald underneath. So he goes to his barber, and you know how barbers is nowadays. They try to get you like, hey, this look good on you for your, for your upcoming event and everything. So he listened, put it on, and I'm thinking, I'm watching it. I'm watching the fight. And man, I see something flew off, like flapping up. Like, and I had to look at it closely. I'm like, this man got a toupee on? A toupee in a boxing match? Man, look, $700.
By the way, that is from the punch. By the way, this is from the punch, and then ultimately he ends up having, he ends up having to actually rip it off. He actually had to end up ripping it off. What a time to be left.
And he won the fight, but it was just funny. It was just like, bro, you lost. He said he went to his corner, and his trainer was trying to say like, but then he felt a breeze like over his head, and he was just like, "Yep." I'm like, damn, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. And then I got one more L of the week.
Go ahead.
I got one more. During the Pro Bowl, Micah Parsons. Now, Micah Parsons, if y'all don't know, he's riding around in his little handicap, the thing that you ride around in Walmart.
Yep.
Jules, any grocery store you go to and kids playing them, he's running around in that. So you know how certain players like videotape everything.
Yep.
He has his video camera and he's going down the row of cheerleaders. Towards the end, he put his video camera down. Now, what do you think is because of that?
What do you do?
Just guess. Why do you think because of that?
He must have gotten caught or something.
No.
He fell.
Mm-mm.
Who'd he hit?
Nobody.
What? He dropped his phone or something?
Nope. He had like a video camcorder, like them old, like the ones that you go around filming family events in.
Uh-huh.
And he got towards the end and he put it down.
Did he like steal or something?
No. Okay, I'm gonna give you a visualization. It's all it's cheerleaders. Cheerleading. Whole line of row. It's a whole line of cheerleaders. He gets in the end, he put it down. What do you think is at the end?
My boy. My boy.
I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I had to rewind and see why he did it.
I'll rewind too.
I had to rewind and see why he put the camera down and just stroll away. And then I saw who was at the end of the line. I was just like, oh, wow. Camera time's over, huh, Micah? Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yo, this. I'm trying to find it. Oh, hold on. I think I found it. Yo, this dude's a madman. This is the moment he's in the end zone, right?
I think so.
God bless him. God bless him. God bless him. So, my it's kind of funny you brought up the Shakur fight because ironically, my loser is Shakur Stevenson.
Oh, why?
So he beat the dog shit at Teofimo Lopez. I was rooting for him. I really was. I was rooting for him, right? And all of a sudden, he wins, and the next day, literally the next day, he gets stripped. I go, what in the wild blue yonder is going on? Why did my man get stripped?
But was that the same title or was that a different title?
It was the same. I think it was the same one.
Mm.
Yep, because I think he won. No, I lied. It was a different one.
Okay. I was about to say, because he just won that belt.
Yep. And this is why I say, this is why I say that he's, why he lost, right? So mind you, the belt that he lost was at 135. Right? It was at 135. And Stevenson moved up. He beat Teofimo. And now he's saying, you know what? I'm about to stick at 140. Okay? And listen, I give before I fry him, I give him credit. He's a 4-time champ, right? Something very few guys have done. I'm gonna give him his credit. And he won the belt that he was stripped of. He won it in 2022. So this moron, I'm gonna say moron because he's hanging around with Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford got early onset CTE because either that or he was just born stupid. I've never in my life seen anything like that, right? But long story short, the sanctioning body was like, Why are we gonna waste our time? Letting you keep the belt at 135 if you're not gonna come down to defend it, right? So they strip him. You're not gonna defend the belt. If you're not gonna defend the belt, what's the point? So they strip him. You know. This is what the man decides to say. And I will never in my life understand this. I will never comprehend it. Because now they're trying to say that it's with the fee, which is funny because every fighter does it. Canelo paid it, but they teach their own. This is what this bozo said. He went on X and saying 100K to some crooks who don't deserve it. The WC doesn't even have to do shit to do with this fight, and it's eating them alive. Take your belt, it don't make me. Which is not true, but I teach their own. Then he said, why the hell am I giving y'all 100K for? Because y'all got beef with Bud? In the contract, it states that you need to pay them 100K. It's in the thing. But Shakur's hanging out with Bud. I'm not gonna say Bud's an idiot, but Bud's an idiot. Like I said, he got early onset CTE, and now he's poisoning Shakur Stevenson. And this is why it's very difficult to take boxing serious, because you make good money, time to pay the sanctioning body, and all of a sudden they cry about it. What a time to be alive!
But you know what it is, right?
What is it?
It's that I can't even pronounce the name. It's the promoter over, and how you pronounce his name? I can't pronounce it. I know it's Turkish. Something.
The promoter? Oh, you're talking about the Riyadh dude?
Yeah. They're saying he does the ring fights and everything. So they're saying like the ring titles are, the real heavyweights, middleweights, and all that ring. They saying those are like the real things, and the WBO, WBC, and all that. They're not, because they don't want to pay that fee. But
they still Turkey Al Sheikh, because they're still paying that shit to him. They still pay that shit. The only difference is they're making so much more money that they actually don't care. But it's only 100,000. You're making mills.
I think they just don't want to give it to them,
which is dumb as hell. Because the 4 division. So you're telling me you're paying that 100K for everybody else? And ironically, the only one you don't want to pay is the one that got beef with Bud. And Bud is basically gassing you up.
Hey, that's how they roll with their mentors, man.
To an extent, dog. To an extent. I'm not trying to be rude, but to an extent, because this is dumb.
Boxing has changed since growing up, because everybody used to fight everybody. Now everybody's not fighting everybody.
Yeah.
And I think and people, I tell people,
everyone want to be Floyd.
They want to be Floyd. Everybody wants to have the perfect records, but at the end of the day, perfect records didn't make nobody. We got some of the greatest fighters in boxing losing more than 10 or 12 fights, and they're known for having those comeback fights and those trilogy fights, and the knockouts and everything. And then we still call them the greatest. We still call them champ at the end of the day. Right. It doesn't matter. But I think people just want to fight for perfect records. This perfect records in every sport thing is killing me, because it's going to be one team or one person that's going to beat you. And then you have to learn from that strategy, come back harder to be the best. But nobody wants to do that anymore. They think when they lose, it's game over. They go pout and they take 2 years off and they come back and have a fight, which is ridiculous.
Very ridiculous. But what are you going to do? Denny, before we slide out, you got any words for the people?
Super Bowl is this week. Go watch it. NBA All-Stars next week. I guess we'll cover that fiasco when we come to it. But at the end of the day, this has been one hell of a week for sports. Trade deadline went crazy. Toupees went flying. What else?
Literally.
What else? This thing is people getting traded and then wave. And Clippers are clipping because I did not know Chris Paul was still on the Clippers.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know
I
that.
ain't gonna hold you. I didn't know that until all of a sudden they were like, he went to Toronto, and I was like, Mark?
Toronto called and told him to stay home.
They're like, yeah, you ain't gotta come in.
That didn't make no sense. And I'm just like really? Like, this is well, the sports world is becoming unfitting. And I just want people to know that we're going to cover shit that's going to come up, whether you like it or not, whether it happens. But my last remarks is, I want to say this, and probably you might say something that will come after this, but it has something to do with the women of the basketball world.
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all please stop promoting these games because they're not going to happen. They're not going to happen. Please stop promoting and showing us the WNBA schedule for televised games because it's not going to happen.
What you mean?
Oh, you didn't hear?
No, what I missed?
Oh, so they had negotiations and they haven't had talks in like 2 months.
Uh-huh.
So they had a talk and the WCB, the Women's Player Association, had a list. And guess what the board told them? No. So we might be seeing the WNBA lockout. Which doesn't surprise me because it doesn't make sense. Like, y'all want what the NBA has, but y'all don't have the fan base. And I keep telling people this, like, I don't have a problem watching WNBA. I think women's basketball has evolved, especially in college, because I never used to watch college women's basketball. Never. But the last few years I have been watching because it's been entertaining, because they're making stars.
Correct.
But when they get to the WNBA, it's like, well, the fan base from college follows them. So they're getting the publicity what they want. But I don't understand. Like, y'all want NBA money. That's not going to happen.
At least not now. And it takes time to cultivate that steady fandom. You know what I mean? That, like, for example, like right now, the wave of the Caitlin Clark fans, and as much people don't like to admit it, the Angel Reese fans, like that wave is coming in, and you know what I mean? Like, the problem is WNBA players are upset about it. So now they're trying to go out their way and hurt Caitlin Clark, and it's like, no. Like, she's bringing in a lot of the eyes that you guys have been on for a long time. Why do you hate her? Why do you hate her? Like, she's one of the people that people tune in to watch. Indiana's a garbage team, but people still watch because it's her. I don't know. I feel like with the problem with the WNBA, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this. I don't really care, but they just don't. They want everything now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, no, that's it takes a little time. Not trying to be rude, but like, there's some bad players in the WNBA, very bad players getting valuable minutes. Like, I'm not. A lot of people are going to be like, why am I going to sit here and watch someone that I could be in my local YMCA gym? They're playing 30 minutes a night. We got mid-tier players trying to pretend like they're great players because we have no one else. No disrespect, but Kelsey Plum is a solid player, sure. To push her like she's like one of the faces of the league is delusion. But that just goes to show you, when you don't have anything else, you kind of have no choice but to do that. You know? The WNBA is going to get there. They'll get there. But it takes time. It takes time. For some unknown reason, they don't want to wait that time. But
Man, because that's crazy. And the main reason why they're complaining because they had the situation like, hey, we got some players that just want to stay in the United States. They don't want to go overseas and make a lot of money off season to make ends meet. That has something to do with the BG situation. So I'm not even gonna go into that, but at the end of the day, they have 2 leagues that are out right now that half of the women in WNBA are in, and then it's another league starting after these 2 leagues, and you still got some of the WNBA players going in that league, so they're making money off season. So people are changing their perspectives on that, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and if you can't get stuff done in business, don't be mad when the summer comes.
Mm-hmm.
And these venues ain't filled up with no games, no WNBA games. Mm-hmm. And I think, hell, people might not even miss them.
Because that's another thing, too, that's like I think they got to be careful. A lockout could potentially kill the WNBA. Because like you said, they can go overseas and go make money. Is it going to be inconvenient? Sure. But it could potentially do that because in the NBA it's a little different because if there's a lockout, they kind of got to resolve it. You know what I mean? Because it's like guys don't really got no options. Let's try to resolve something. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure. There's overseas team, but we all know the most profitable league is here in the NBA. WNBA doesn't have that luxury. They really don't. So it becomes a thing where they're like, "Ooh, we really don't. We don't like this," and the WNBA could end up, being down real bad. But I don't know, man. That's something, wait and see. Hopefully within the next week there'll be some sort of an update, and that way we can go from there. But yeah, it's been real. On behalf of my boy Denny, it's been your boy Pride. We'll be back here next week to talk more stuff, all things sports. Until then, it's been Fourth and Loud. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.